Yo, and we're back.
Yet again.
Again.
Round
like
2.
15 minutes later.
But it's another week.
But it's big things have happened since the last episode went up.
Yeah, we listened to a couple of songs.
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying since the episode
like Christmas
up. It's
yeah.
Christmas time.
What
Christmas
gifts
has
did
happened.
Get?
What gifts
did I get? Oh, love and joy.
That's
and
it.
Those are the only 2 gifts you really need.
That's all you asked for Christmas?
Yeah, just love.
I asked for way more things than that.
And a 5-bedroom house.
See, that's more like it.
Yeah.
It's a 5-bedroom house in Chicago is only like $2.5 million.
You know.
So a down payment's like $250,000.
And that's all I asked for, you know.
You're keeping it light.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're lucky I didn't ask for everything.
Yeah. Okay. So your parents are Steve Ballmer, just Steve Ballmer. Your dad is Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, my dad's Steve Ballmer.
I
go by a different last name because I didn't want people to just swarm me as a child.
Trevor Ballmer. Yeah. It doesn't play on the stage as Trevor Beatty does.
Yeah, right. And I didn't want to get my success because of him.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be like Marcus Jordan.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jordan's kid.
Right.
Who also didn't have success,
right.
but makes millions of dollars still being an advocate for his dad's shoe business.
Right.
So.
What'd you get?
I got a pair of socks.
Nice.
Pretty sick.
Just one pair?
Just one pair of Stance socks.
Did they have anything? Oh, what?
It says New York Giants on them,
nice.
so I'm really upset because we're 3-11.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
I think we'll be 4-11. We're gonna win. We're winning out. Eli Manning is the best quarterback to watch the face of the earth. I got a pair of socks. I also got some underwear.
Nice.
I need that.
Yeah.
I want to get. You know, I was looking to get some over-the-ear headphones, but Santa didn't grace me this year with those.
That's redundant.
Yeah. Wait.
Over-the-ear headphones. Because headphones are head and earphones are in the ear.
Over the ear. Over.
I know. I'm saying that headphones go over your ears and earphones go in your ears. So there's a distinction between the two, right?
Redundant.
So over the ear headphones are just headphones.
Fair point, but I have a pair of headphones. I'd like a second pair of headphones that have a different quality of sound.
There you go. That's the big distinction.
Warmer, deeper with bass.
Sorry,
also
I was anal about that.
Editing. You friggin' a-hole.
How dare you?
This is not how we want to celebrate Christmas.
My birthday is also passed. My birthday was yesterday.
Oh my God, you're Jordan year. I'll say it again.
It's
23.
The best one yet. And if you were unaware, we actually recorded this a week and a half ago. So
yeah.
We're time traveling pretty much. I'm Marty McFly, and this is...
I'm Doc Brown.
And this is That's Not News.
Yes. So, in That's Not News, we'll do another quick shout-out. Follow us. You have the tremors now? 1.21 gigawatts! Are you doing a Doc Brown?
I'm Michael J. Fox.
No! Great visual gag for those who are watching, but for those who are listening, he was creating a tremor with his hands.
I had a principal in middle school that retired because he had Parkinson's.
Man,
so
a principal?
It's real. It sucks,
imagine him trying to be like mean to somebody. You know what I mean? Where he's like trying to lay the smack down, but he just misses the
His last name was Krumholtz, so he wasn't going to be mean to anyone.
Crumble?
Yeah. Krumholtz.
Krumholtz sounds like somebody who'd be mean. Like they would spit.
Oh, he's a nice old man.
It's spit in your oatmeal.
No, that's in Matilda.
I know.
What's her name?
Mrs. Trunchbull. It's Krumholtz.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that.
No, it sounds just like Krumholtz, whatever his name is, Crummy.
Okay, cool. Cool.
You don't know her freaking name. It's just Trunchbull. Duh. That kid had to eat a sweat, blood, tear cake. Remember that? I didn't even say it in the right way. Blood, sweat, tear.
Blood, sweat, tear cake.
And there was that the little chubby kid who just crushed a whole cake in front of the class. I thought that was one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing in its entirety.
You don't have to. Just see Danny DeVito's parts and then go about your day.
I did just watch a video of Danny DeVito talking about his most famous roles. And talking about
those
videos?
The GQ,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It was
I like
cool.
those. Yeah, he's pretty fun.
He's got a nice guy. He's a cool guy.
I agree. I'd say Danny DeVito is a class act.
Yeah.
I'd put him up there.
Absolutely. And with that, let's get into a word. How about it?
Let's do it. Really quick, I'm going to shout out, if you want to follow us on Facebook, look up Jack and Trevor. Instagram, Real Jack and Trevor. Twitter, Real Jack and Trev.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, and
watch out for that one.
YouTube Jack and Trevor. Now, we said this last week as well. If you look it up on YouTube, there's going to be 2 men in tuxes above. We're the ones below. We're the cooler ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm done shouting those guys out. They sing. They're cool.
Yeah, don't follow them. Stop talking about them, okay? Because then they'll just get followed for,
Let's get a word.
Randomly generated every episode right here. You see this click right here? First just one right click. Here. Boom. It still says victory from the last time, actually. I haven't even clicked it once. Respectable.
Haha.
Not me, ever.
When I think of respectable, I think of somebody, at least from a comedy standpoint.
Right.
Somebody who's respectable is like the comics comic. Like, other comedians talk about this guy being a good comedian. He may not be they might not be the most popular comedian, but they're just respectable.
Right.
And they make good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also.
Like Mike Birbiglia.
Right. Not a lot of people know about him.
Right.
But other comedians.
But he had a show on Broadway.
Exactly. And a stand-up special that's
several.
Just out. Yeah, several of them. So people like Jenny Slate, John Mulaney, Nick Kroll love to talk about Mike Birbiglia. Other people also love to talk about his style.
Yeah.
But he's not the most popular person.
I think Mike Birbiglia is kind of like a comedian's comedian.
That's exactly the comics comic. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Where he...
Did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, I realized that we didn't pick a news article for our segment.
Oh, no. All right, we'll just have to scroll through one. Yeah. You'll catch us while
maybe we'll do a fun BuzzFeed thing, because they're not a real news site, I don't think.
I don't. I definitely
they're not
know
respectable.
They're not news. They are just like... $9 pasta versus $100 pasta.
What kind of porridge are you?
Yeah, why is it in an Irish accent? What's your house in Harry Potter? What's your house? Are you a Slytherin?
Do you know?
I don't. I think I'm a fucking Hufflepuff, and I turned the goddamn.
You're
thing
Cedric
off.
Diggory.
Cedric Diggory. Yeah, I believe so.
Does somebody say his voice like that?
Yeah, I think Dumbledore says it that way.
Oh, when he posts his name.
Cedric Diggory. And then he goes, Harry Potter! Your name shouldn't be in here! Harry! And just freaks out.
That's the exact line. Yeah, I remember that. It's in the book, too.
Yeah.
Your name shouldn't be in here!
And then he just freaks out and then casts a spell. No, I don't think so. But Malfoy also has black hair in the books, so they're full of shit.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Eragon. They fucked that up.
They really fucked that up.
Because he's supposed to have brown hair, brown eyes in the book.
And they were just like, you know what?
He's a blonde.
Yeah, we're going to make him an Aryan supremacist.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it's a race thing.
It for sure is. Eragon's German, so they're like, you know what we should do?
Wow.
What was that?
I don't know. You know what we should do? It's funny, there's an episode of Always Sunny where they're supposed to do Russian accents, but they definitely do German accents.
It's just Germans the whole time, so that's cool. Like, so basically what we should do is we should... go grab some schnitzel and then go just terrorize the city of people. Does that sound pretty good? Like, I'm enjoying that. Like, maybe we can just fucking, I don't know, just grab some soup.
Sure. And after that, we can...
have a couple of cigarettes. Coffee.
And go to a film premiere.
Ooh, I love the film. IFC is my favorite channel. So basically what we could do is, like, take some ketamines, then just walk around the city.
Ooh. And... Ooh. But that's the worst. And I don't think that's very fun, so...
You don't like taking ketamine and walking around?
No.
It's not me neither. I don't think I've ever taken ketamine, nor will I.
I'm going to be real with you. Is that K2?
Yeah, that's like a
yeah, I definitely... yeah. I think there was some crazy stuff going on with that in Peoria.
Really?
Like, not in the college community, but in the city itself.
So would you say it's a respectable drug? In the city?
No, I think it kills people.
I don't think any drug is a respectable one unless it's like actively saving your life.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing though.
Not many of them do.
But I mean, like, drugs are also medication,
To some.
No, but I mean like literal drugs, that over the counter drug, like that's considered a drug from a pharmacy.
K2?
No, not K2.
Or just
but
like
I'm
Advil.
saying not.
You're saying
you said
antibiotics.
I don't think any drug's a respectable drug, but antibiotics.
Antibiotics. Okay, like amoxicillin.
Those are still technically drugs.
Yeah, they are, because they do have adverse effects. My little brother took antibiotics because he's allergic to penicillin, so he decided to take a different, more powerful antibiotic.
Which comes from mold.
Penicillin comes from mold?
Yeah, it was discovered from mold.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't know the exact science of it, but that's how it was discovered.
That's terrifying. Maybe that's why my little brother doesn't like mold. I don't think many people do. He doesn't like blue cheese.
Yeah,
have
you met anybody that likes mold?
I like blue cheese. That's technically mold.
It is, but that's different.
It's
you
yummy
know,
mold.
I still don't like blue cheese, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna just actively seek moldy bread. But
I would hope not.
But anyway, he got a very.
Do you understand how weird that would be?
You know what I want? Can you just get me the bread with like a bunch of shit on it, please? I like a peanut butter and jelly.
You're like Coach Steve.
You know what I like? I like the bread with a little bit of stuff in it. No, I feel like he took this powerful antibiotic that made him like throw up green. Like there's adverse effects to these drugs that are supposed to heal you. Like,
right.
I don't know. There's always something that there's a side effect. Like it could heal one thing, but the side effects also cause pain in other areas.
Right.
So
well, even with like vitamins and minerals, you can take too much of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to where it, like a
you
lot of them,
you could be throwing up into your cup, like you did in an episode,
right?
Of a sketch. You took these vitamins.
Yeah, I meant to shout out an episode last episode. I meant to shout out a sketch last episode, but. If you're watching, go check out our sketches at our YouTube, Jack and Trevor.
Yeah.
Or if you're listening too, I should say.
Sure thing.
We keep forgetting there are people listening.
Live, maybe. Not necessarily live. But you get
Yeah, who's listening? They're listening from above us.
Honestly, that'd be so funny if they're using like a traffic
the government's
to
listening.
Just like, they're making another episode. It's so good.
We're really off the rails right now.
I don't mind.
Respectable.
So I do think that there are respectable drugs. I feel like there are drugs that are designed to heal you.
Yeah.
B12. Too much of B12 can get you jacked up. Did I really make you spit out your coffee? Oops.
Like the vitamin B12?
Yeah, it's a drug.
Yeah, I don't think that counts as a drug, does
David Spade said he took it in the 80s a bunch to act as cocaine on screen. He was just railing B12 lines, and he's like, I felt like I could punch a hole through a wall.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He did like 12 takes, so he was just shooting B12 12 times up into his nostrils.
I was watching the Pat McAfee show.
Yep.
And he was talking about, because Josh Gordon just got suspended indefinitely from the NFL.
Indefinitely? He's done forever?
Well, I mean,
or just for the remainder of the season, or
until they decide how long.
Man, I think he should be done by now.
But Pat McAfee's been in that program and was talking about how hard it is because the way that the NFL substance abuse program works is you get tested once, and it like starts in April, and if you don't get it during like what are those PTAs or whatever, what are those? The first, like, spring training, essentially.
Yeah.
If you don't have it during that time, then you don't have a drug test until the first week of training camp, like in August or whatever. But pretty much if you pass that first test, you don't get tested for the rest of the year. So people can sober up 3 weeks before that first period and be sober for however long.
What drugs are they testing for?
Primarily marijuana, I think.
I can't believe that that's still something that
the MLB just said that they weren't going to test for it anymore.
Which I really hope takes strides in the direction of the NBA and the NFL. Because I know not only J.R. Smith gets high as shit before every basketball game, 90% of the league does that.
Well, I don't think necessarily before. Like some
maybe
people
not before
do.
the sporting events, but to muscle relaxants, you're taking an ice bath afterward.
There was this episode I watched of something where it was 4 veterans talking about marijuana use in the league, and they're like, you literally kind of go through a car wreck on Sundays, and so like it helps them recover and heal
to
like,
be able to do it again a
week later.
Sometimes it's not every other week's a bye week. You get one bye week. So you're, especially the offensive and defensive linemen, they're hitting each other every down.
Right.
Every single down. That's
like 300-pound man on 300-pound man.
Just crushing each other for people's entertainment.
Right.
So that's pretty unbelievable. Let them do what they want to do to heal.
Right.
I find that to be not a performance enhancer.
Right.
If anything, I feel like it'd be a performance dehancer if you take it before the game.
Right.
So it's used to heal. I can't believe Josh Gordon was caught with it. So it was marijuana. Is that what
they
he was
also
taking?
In the past it's been marijuana.
Yeah.
They also added performance enhancing drugs to this one, which Adderall's included in that. So it could be that he was taking Adderall before games and failed. But essentially, if you pass that first test, it's bullshit because then you're not tested for the rest of the year. So you pass that first test, you're golden. You can go and celebrate with your friends, and start doing whatever. If you fail that test, then you go into their substance abuse program. The first step of it, I think, is I don't know, like 3 months or something like that. And you are tested 8 times a month. You have a weekly meeting with a psychiatrist or therapist or something like that.
That would make me feel so weird.
Yeah. And so then once you go through those steps, then there's a 2-year second step, which is pretty much exactly that. It's still you get tested 8 times a week. And so Pat McAfee was saying he understands. Everyone thinks it's he failed one test.
No.
And it's no, he it's so hard because he's not going out with his friends.
You have to maintain this lifestyle for years.
And not just not smoking marijuana, but being completely sober.
Yeah, no alcohol, probably, right? No, that's
and so
that's a little strict. Yeah, I think,
and it's bogus because most of the league is probably doing it and engaging in it.
They're just doing it in a way where they have the inside scoop on when they're going to be tested, when they should cleanse their body, when they should start drinking more green tea, I guess, before the drug test. And
well, it's Josh Gordon made this mistake one time.
So now he's on high alert. Everyone's going to be expecting that he's going to be a repeat offender.
Oh, and you have to check in anytime you leave the state that your team is in. You have to give them your address that you're going to and 2 ways to reach you. They have to know where you are at all times, what you're doing. It's crazy.
That's even more than if somebody failed 3, if somebody was caught driving under the influence 3 times. After the 3rd time, you have to blow into a breathalyzer to start your car. To know that he was caught 1 time in the past, and that this kind of I don't know, they're babysitting these guys.
Right.
You kind of just give them the opportunity to get better on their own.
I think the big thing, I would assume the big reason why most professional leagues still check for marijuana use is because it's not legal nationwide.
Right.
And so, but I think that the discipline part of it should be more, if they get caught doing it, let the law handle it, but it's not impacting their performance.
It in no way.
Because most of them are doing it.
Right. Especially people that are getting hit often, it's been known, depending on which way you take it, to reduce inflammation. And I'm guessing you're going to be pretty swollen like a balloon after you're getting hit for 3 hours or 4 hours on Sunday. Then you go to pad practice on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, preparing for the game again. It doesn't seem like a very easy lifestyle on your joints or your muscles.
But then to tie it into respect, if it comes out today that somebody has been caught smoking, it kind of ruins their reputation.
Yeah, you're known as a baser or a drug user.
But then somebody gets a DUI and it gets swept on. Nobody cares.
That is so interesting to me. I think driving under the influence of alcohol is way more dangerous than
even just alcohol
being
consumption.
Caught with marijuana. Yeah, I do think alcohol consumption kills not only your liver.
Right.
This might be a little personal, but one of my dad's friends almost died last year because he just didn't stop drinking.
Wow.
Yeah. He had to get a new liver. He's okay now. He's doing great now. But you have serious cirrhosis. If you're just, kind of partying all day long, you wake up taking shots of stuff, you're at serious risk for kidney failure, liver failure.
Well, it's obviously such an ingrained thing in our culture. A lot of people go to specific colleges for it, or it's not tied into everybody's decision. But I know a lot of people from my high school that went to colleges so that they could party with people.
Oh, really? You're saying different colleges with With what exactly?
Like, they want to go to college with their group of friends because they know that partying is the thing to do in college, and so it's
Of
like,
course.
let's all go party together.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
At
Let's
FSU.
go party for 4 years.
Yep. I
And
was in
it's-
Florida, so
yeah.
I was the same thing. We're going to UF,
Yeah.
party school. We're going to FSU, party school. And everybody
Right.
either went there or there.
And so it's ingrained in our culture that, like, I don't know, even kind of underage drinking is celebrated to a certain extent in our country.
Yeah, once you're legal, I didn't drink as much
Right.
when I was, like, legally able to drink.
And because you get to a point, at least I got to a point where it's like, drinking like that, I can do it every once in a while. But you just feel so shitty.
You feel like, yeah,
you
no,
wake up and you feel so bad.
you don't sleep well.
Yeah.
Your stomach hurts. Your entire chemical makeup is just gross. Your immune system's compromised. There's
Right.
all these things that are, at least I feel them when I drink. I had a couple of drinks before my show on last Sunday.
Yeah.
I had another drink after the show because I was like, I did pretty well. All right. I want to party a little bit. I didn't sleep very well. Woke up feeling like shit.
Right.
Like, I was like, I don't never want to drink again. Like, I didn't even drink that much. I wasn't hammered. I just had a nice buzz going.
Right.
It was the first time I had drinks in a while. So I think alcohol is not a respectable substance. I'll say that now.
Yeah.
Even though it's
I think
all
it's just like anything else. Well, I mean, not anything else. I mean, I think once you start being like, oh, cocaine and like these, like, obviously there's a point where it's a very different kind of thing. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, like hallucinogens, stuff like that.
Cocaine, I think, will never, ever be...
Right. Nor should it.
Yeah.
But at this point...
There was a guy with a legalized cocaine
Really?
shirt
Oh my
on,
God.
like, a couple years ago, and I saw that and was like, cocaine is like a big drug.
Right.
You really want to legalize cocaine? Right. You want to ruin people's lives, you dumbass? Take that shirt off.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, legalize cocaine. I was like, where do you find
You
that
don't
shirt?
see you don't see medical cocaine.
No,
Cocaine.
there's no medical cocaine
Doctors writing
dispensaries.
scripts for cocaine use.
So I noticed that you're having a tough time getting energy, and what I'm going to do is prescribe you an 8-ball.
That's
of
what
cocaine.
fucking Adderall is for.
Right. Yeah. You can choose to crush it up into a small amount and snort it up your nose.
Did you have friends or did you know people in college that took Addy?
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people. I don't think it's good for you if you don't.
There's a
need
big
it.
thing in the professional gaming community.
Yeah, absolutely, to continue to like be single focused on that thing for a long period. Is that considered a performance enhancer? Is that something that's not respectable in the gaming community?
I think technically it's not against the rules, but people were calling for them to crack down on it because there was a Call of Duty player that threw up during a competition. Like, he had to leave the stage and throw up, and they had to fill in for him because he got sick. And people weren't sure if it was because he was doing this, but it's been something that people have been talking about behind the scenes, how there's like mass Adderall usage.
I don't doubt it.
You know,
I feel like some people's bodies, obviously.
I've never taken it. I don't really understand how.
I've taken it twice, and I've done. I wanted to do it to study for finals. I ended up cleaning my entire room and doing my laundry and doing my dishes, and I didn't study for a minute. And I'm like, this is actually so stupid.
Right.
I was focused on everything else except studying. I was able to kick ass and clean, but then when it came to like actually sitting down and like focusing on that, I didn't do it. So I was like, this doesn't really work for me. I'm more of a procrastinate, wait till the last minute, then I make something great.
Right.
That's exactly what happens.
It's the worst.
It sucks. It actually is the worst way to go about
You're
it.
like, this is. But
Are you a procrastinator? Do you procrastinate like on school when you did on school assignments and stuff like that? Was that one thing for you where you like just waited to the last minute? I'm gonna write a 10-page paper in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I get a 98 on it somehow. That's how I operate. With the pressure's on, I somehow am able to like really deliver.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same. I think that's probably maybe the like improv side of things where it's like, oh, you're up here and you have no option but to do something.
You got one shot.
You know, like when you're writing that paper at the last minute, you're like, well, this has to be, like, it has to come out now and it has to be somewhat good.
Right.
You know? Or it just has to be what it is.
I can't sit here and write 8 drafts of the same thing.
And so you're not judging yourself. I think it's smarter to edit yourself and write drafts, but I never did that. I was always the person that like really didn't study.
Me neither.
Like, just...
I became friends with my teachers, and they gave me good grades.
Unless I had something that I would really like, I heard an assignment or a project or what a paper was about, and I go, oh, I know what I want to write it about. Then I could write it pretty much ahead of time. That was probably closer how I functioned. I'd just wait until the idea formulated in my head.
Oh, so you were like, yeah.
So I'm over here like kind of stewing and like letting it steam, and as soon as I get the idea, then I'm like, okay, now I can write my thesis, and now I can write my paper.
Yeah, okay, so you had to give it some time to stew.
Yeah.
That was the way I operated as well, but I would tell my parents that I'm working on it. You know, like those things are like, so you got that paper coming up? I'm like, I'm working on it, and I'm like playing Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about writing this. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna get to writing it.
Right.
But I was like, yeah, I'm surely working on it. It's all up here.
I think it's pretty human. Like, obviously, there's those dicks that actually work well, and you know, like
my
put their
girlfriend's
time in
one
a
of them.
specific way. I think certain professions absolutely call for it. I'm sure, like, but I still knew people that were going to school for engineering that would do the same thing.
Waiting to the last
nurses
minute.
that do the same. I think it's just like
a friend of mine in college who's now an engineer. Someone's revving an engine back there.
I don't know if you can hear that, but that was wild.
He's like taking her out for a lunch
Dukes
date.
of Hazzards out here.
Check out my truck. Ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, my friend Dylan would never study. He's an engineer.
Right.
He's currently an engineer in the workplace right now. He's like, seized get degrees, baby.
Right.
Yeah, so he was that person.
Well, I don't know if you've seen this, but college, like the breakdown of how you can spend your time in college is always like you can have two of the three. You can either study a lot, you can get a lot of sleep, or you can have a lot of social time. And you get to pick which two from the three you want, but it's really hard to have a lot of all three.
I can get that. Like it's like a Venn diagram balance.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, you can't get all three. I think it's impossible. Close to it.
Right.
So I picked, my two were sleep and social most of the time. Mm-hmm. And then, the studying one would come in a little bit, but then a lot of it was like creative work. Thankfully, I had a somewhat creative major, so it's probably not respectable according to other people.
To have a creative major?
I don't think. I think that it's more of like for people that are becoming an accountant or a finance major. They actually have to do lots of homework and stuff. But for people that are creative, it's like you show up on that day. You better show up. I had to like make this entire I had to direct stuff in a newsroom and had to like actually call the shots and stuff like that. That doesn't require studying. It requires me to for like 30 minutes to be like, this is what I'm going to tell people to get this show on the road, and we're gonna put something out. So that's what I had to do. Like you just had to look it over for a second. Mm-hmm. Same with, I'm sure it was similar with acting. It's like I have my lines down. I know what I need to say.
Right.
I know how I'm going to perform it. You weren't spending hours on end. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you were as part of like scene study, but no. I wasn't writing stuff down and like I don't know, doing equations and whatnot.
No, my study. I mean, first of all, you always have a lot of rehearsal time. Mm-hmm. Like it was kind of like being a student athlete, because you'd have like 6 days a week, you'd have 4 hours of rehearsal about. Yeah. And so, like part-time job kind of, you're talking. And I always memorized quickly, so I didn't necessarily have to do a lot of like studying lines outside. My big studying was watching movies and reading plays. The coffee's getting to me.
I've been burping for 20 minutes.
Right. And you guys have been loving it the whole time.
Exactly.
But it was, doing those things. Like when MoviePass came out, man, literally I would get out of class like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon and be like, okay, nobody's coming with me. I'm going to go see a movie.
That's hilarious. Because
it was literally a movie every 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I would start on Mondays and be going, like, I'd go to a movie at 1:10. And so then I couldn't get something until like 1:30. But then like Tuesday, I'd go to a movie at 1:30. And so then I could see something at 2 the next day, And so eventually I would be seeing a movie at like 5 or 6 at night. But I was planning it out ahead of time, knowing that
it's the 24-hour mark to see a free movie, and what was it, $10 a month?
$10 a month.
That's disgusting. I think they realized that they were literally robbing people Or not actually,
they were
the
getting
opposite.
robbed.
They were getting the movie theaters were getting robbed. They did not realize just how many people were actually going to see that amount of movies daily.
The movie theaters weren't. MoviePass was, because MoviePass paid for the tickets, so
What?
they were losing so much money.
Yeah, they probably had to go under.
Oh, they
went.
Right? That's why it's not
They
a thing, because they went bankrupt.
Yeah,
because it's not even close to a sustainable building model.
How on earth would they think that's a good business model? Where they're like, oh, no one's gonna actually go see a movie every single day.
Well, it used to be really expensive. And then
what, $30, $40
I forget exactly what.
Even if it was $30
even if
a
it was
month,
30, it's
and
worth
you saw more than 3 movies a month.
I have shout out AMC theaters if you're listening.
They are. We know you are. We'll do an ad.
We could use an advertising.
We'll sell out.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
But I have their Stubs thing.
What's that?
It's $21 a month for 3 movies a week.
3 movies a week.
A week. So you can see up to 12 movies for $21.
Okay. That's actually fantastic.
Plus you get like member benefits on top of that. But
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You can order food ahead of time. So you show up to the theater.
You ask for a large popcorn. They're like, here you go.
Yep.
You just walk. It's just one swift walking movement where you're like, you don't even wait in line.
Yep.
Coffee.
So it's pretty fire, honestly.
You get popcorn, soft drink.
Early morning movie, get that coffee.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you actually see 3 movies a week?
No.
Is it more like one a week?
Yeah, I at least see 1. I could see 3. It's just
the time.
The closest theaters to me are Landmark and ArcLight.
Oh, okay. They're kind of
so it's like if it's a little out of the way.
Yeah.
I could take public transit down to one in the Loop, I think, but still I don't have the pass. So then it's like $350.
I'm so like amazed still that MoviePass thought that they could actually sustain that idea.
Right.
That is not respectable.
Yeah, I think they then they tried to save it and made it a little bit more expensive, but then everybody was like, "It's too late, man. You've lost so much money."
They kind of played off that Netflix business model in a way where people were concerned that Netflix wasn't going to be sustainable because they were in a substantial amount of debt. Because
do you remember
they kept
getting
funding
DVDs?
these
Did
projects.
your family have Netflix at that point?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had it really early on where you'd get stuff sent to you.
Right.
That seemed like a pretty good business model. But then when they switched to streaming and they're funding all these projects, they were in $3 billion in business debt or something like that. I think it's still actually going down too. I think it's still, I don't know if they're still in debt, but people still they buy Netflix stock. They still see it as a good option to grow.
As of September 30th,
I'm curious to see.
Netflix reported $12.43 billion in debt.
How on earth are they still an operating company? They fund so many projects that are hundreds of millions of dollars. They have so many subscribers that pay $15 a month. But how on earth are they going to get out of that $12.4 billion hole? They need to sell. They need to sell to somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, but to me, that's not really respectable at all.
I mean, it's just how it works. I don't even want to attempt to understand the business world.
I somewhat understand it through my father, and I know that is not going to last long. There's no way.
It says long-term debt, though, so I don't necessarily know what needs to be paid,
Right. I mean, I know Kanye was in $50 million in business debt, but he just released an album right after that, even though it was a train wreck. That was right when Wolves came out. Or is that the album? Oh no, The Life of Pablo, something like that.
Right.
Where he tried to release it on Tidal and everyone ripped it off and he lost a ton of money. He was still in business debt. Now he's worth $150-200 million from some Adidas fashion line. So I guess you can flip-flop any which way. Netflix probably has a good plan. But to know you're in close to $13 billion in debt, who would want to buy stock from Netflix?
I mean, they make almost $1 billion a month.
Yeah, but they're still losing money somehow because of all the projects that they fund.
Right.
Because they're always putting out new shit and paying actors and their studios. I don't know if they might just pay production companies to do all that. I don't know if they actually pay actors. Does Netflix, you think,
Oh, I'm sure they
have
pay
contract
actors.
like Noah Centineo's their golden boy? I'm gonna pay you.
I mean, like Adam Sandler signed the 6-movie contract
For $50 million. Yeah. Do you think that like $50 million for just him, or for Happy Madison production, or do you think they fund each movie too?
I'm sure.
I know you don't want to talk about the business side of it all.
I haven't seen all 6 of them, so I don't know if they were all Happy Madison movies. But I would assume Adam Sandler would have his studio help produce it.
Right, because depending on, I guess, the return amount of streams.
Because there's no way Netflix, because every movie needs multiple producers. Netflix Studios isn't able to solely produce a movie.
You can't. No way. That's a lot.
Right.
It's pretty amazing to me, and not respectable in my opinion. And I'm bringing it back.
I don't know. I'm sure they have a plan.
Oh yeah, if they still have like a public offering,
Because if they're doubling down and being like, no, we're gonna produce more content, because this has been going on for a while. They were like, oh, we're like $2 billion in debt. Oh, and now we've lost another $3 billion. Oh, and now we've lost 71% of that.
Right.
It's like
something's going to turn around.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. I don't know if they're like really hoping things like The Irishman and like doing movies now, like awards movies, pans out for them. I don't know.
They might have to reduce the amount of stuff they release.
Because 3 years ago, they weren't doing award season.
Oscar movies.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah, there was like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Now there's like way more.
Yeah.
Like in the running, like The Marriage Story, or is
Marriage
it just
Story.
A Marriage Story?
I think it's Marriage Story.
Damn it. I don't know my movies well, and you know this.
Dude, I know my movies so well. So maybe we'll just have maybe our new segment will be me telling you about movies.
Yeah, instead of like it's just movie splaining.
Or you telling me the summary of a movie that you've never seen.
Oh, that'd be fun. I like that idea for a segment. But I mean, I still feel like it needs some work.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure that out.
We're gonna do it right now.
You wanna do it?
No, we don't have to.
So we didn't really talk about respectable, like in our eyes, like what we find respectable. I guess we spoke about it for a second with Mike Birbiglia, like the comedian's comedian. I think of Norm Macdonald that way too, where he's just like, everything that he says goes over a lot of people's heads,
right.
but the other comedians are like in stitches laughing about
right.
it. What would you find respectable in acting? Do you find somebody or something respectable?
I think work ethic is the most important thing to me. Which I don't think I necessarily had a great work ethic growing up. I remember like my first job I had was mowing, and sometimes my mom would have to like push me out the door, not like literally, but
get out there.
She'd be like, you better go do this, like it's gonna rain later in the week, you better go mow these people's lawns so you can make money. Not even like it's your chore, just like they're gonna pay you $35 to mow their lawn. That's pretty good. Go do it.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah,
that's like that's
like
I had
35. 2 lawns. I had 2 right next to each other. That I think it was like 35 or 35 and 40. So I made like 70, 75
an hour. Right? It's probably not that much work.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, not at all. Because
45 minutes.
At one point we had the push mower, and that kind of sucked.
Did you eventually have a mower like a John Deere one that you could drive around?
Yeah, and I was whipping that shit. I was like, yeah.
Parallel parking into a bush.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, and then you would like reverse, and you like be going back, and you're like, oh, I look so cool right now. You're like, no, you fucking don't. You're going like 10 miles an hour on a mower. What are you talking about?
You gotta be wearing a white tee, not unlike this one here.
Yeah.
Just sweating with an iced tea, just backing up, saying hi to the neighbors. Hey,
a nice farmer tan, just from
Absolutely.
Take your shirt out to try to get the tan better.
You're glistening from the hot Illinois
If I get
sun.
this done fast enough, I can go hang out with people at the pool. Like that's what we're talking about. But I wasn't always like, oh, I want to go work like right now. I don't think I kind of got it with sports a little bit in high school because I would be pushed beyond what I wanted to do. But I've always been somebody that like, if I'm really passionate about something, then I'll put everything into it. Which I need to work. You got to work on when you're not necessarily passionate, putting everything into it.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you find it, like, some days you're just not going to be as motivated as other days. And the passion is still there, but it is just, like, getting yourself out of bed, pushing yourself to do something new every day.
And so my big thing in college was, like, I always wanted to be the best, and I think I'll always continue to want to be the best. Knowing that, maybe that's an unattainable goal, but I know that I always want to be my best, but I also, I always want to be better.
It's just the competitive nature of who you are.
And so there are people that don't see it that way. They're just like,
I want to stay in my lane. I want to be good at what I do.
Yeah, I know I'm good, or I think I'm good. Like, I'm not going to put in the work to get better.
But where does that get you?
Nowhere.
It doesn't get you anywhere. You have to have at least some competitive nature.
Right.
Like, I don't know. When I see friends of mine get opportunities for, like, oh, I auditioned and got this, I'm like, I'm so happy for you. But at the same time, what can I do now?
Right.
What can I do? I want to start doing something now.
Right.
Let me do something different. Let me, I hate to use this word, but let me grind. Let me make a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Now I'm inspired to do that.
It's what it always is. It's why we started doing this stuff, is because...
This is regular.
Yeah. It's regular. It's creative. That's why we started doing sketches, too, because we were like, you know what? Even if, in 5 years we look back and we're like, oh, that was such terrible content, which I don't think we will necessarily. But even if that's the case, at least we're doing something to better ourselves now.
We're trying.
And yeah,
there's so many like YouTube people that I follow that were saying like, I've been working at this for 7 years, like 7 years, and I'm finally getting monetized.
Right.
Which is incredible. But they're passionate about content creation, which I truly think that I am too. I'm passionate about making things more than I am live stuff. I really feel like I'm more passionate about creating something with a camera or with a microphone. Even though the overall passion for comedy is there, I'm far more passionate about digital creation.
Sure.
But yeah, I bet you I wasn't very respectable early on because I was a little hesitant. Like, can we fit all this stuff in a week?
Sure.
Can we fit a podcast? Can we fit, when I go away to do 2 or 3 of these things?
Right.
Like we're doing now.
This is 2 of 3.
Yeah, exactly. Can we... I was just I had my doubts, but you were like, no, let's try it. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. And like, I wasn't trying to like push away, but I was just almost doubting.
Yeah.
It is a time commitment. Like, will this pay off? And the only way to know that is by actually doing it. Versus like, what would I be doing otherwise? Right. So,
at the very least, you're just like sitting there writing, not doing anything,
Exactly.
Or you're just chilling, wasting time.
Yeah, me writing is chilling when wasting time.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, if I'm like, let me sit down and write, I'm going to write a sketch today.
Well, I feel like any respectable writers you hear about, you talk about like Bill Hader and John Mulaney.
They were dicking around for hours.
I think that's just how it is. The first time we got together and wrote together, and literally we just like did nothing for an hour and a half and then wrote 7-Eleven and then didn't film it for 6 weeks.
But we had that idea for a while. We sat on it. I mean, we have an interesting writing style. Like, we don't write in the traditional format of like pan left as Trevor opens the door.
Right.
We're like, here's Trevor's lines, here's my lines, and we're just gonna film it.
Right.
Which I think is still a good thing because it just allows freedom as a performer. If you want to, treat this as a live sort of thing almost, even though they're 2 very different things.
Right.
We're not giving every sort of direction through our writing. It's just more like lines.
And we're just taking inspiration from
the previous one.
From series we've seen before, from characters we like. We've talked about Jake and Amir a lot. We talked recently about like Nick and Schmidt a little bit.
Classic new girl dude clashing friendship.
Just like stupid. Like, I remember we were talking the other day and you were like, I'm honestly just okay making dumb shit. And I was like, what do you mean? You're like, it never has to be more than just kind of
characters
silly,
living life. Like, why? I wonder why. Ooh, I got a thought coming. I wonder why that hasn't been respectable or isn't respectable amongst our peers now to make dumb shit. Do they expect some sort of like what does there always have to be a message behind it, or can it just be some non-linear ridiculous piece?
Right.
Like, why can't it just be something like that?
I think a lot of times it depends on how somebody views performance and views art. Because if you don't think art just for the sake of escapism and imagination isn't as respectable, then you're not going to do it. Then you're looking more for art that has a message that says something specifically. And obviously you can have both happening at the same time, but you look at what Always Sunny used to be, and it's just crazy people being terrible people,
Right.
And like the more the time goes on, they're like,
narcissistic.
Let's use this platform to say something and have a message and incorporate it in.
That was like 7 seasons in.
Yeah.
That was like way past when they started making stuff.
So, I certainly at times am like, we kind of had the Movember episode where it's a little bit more, has a message or a thought or something to it. Streaming services kind of has the point that it's like,
yeah,
dude, what's happening with content?
Truly nothing to watch. Yeah. It's becoming cable yet again. Yeah, I mean, it gives you something to think about, but it's not, it doesn't have a satirical punch per se. It's not like we're trying to take any political jabs in our comedy, which I don't necessarily care to do personally. I think it's a little bit, it's overdone, I think, now. I like to just do fun character work that is it's unique because it's us. It has a sense of authenticity.
Right.
And nobody else can do that because it's you and I.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like we're not totally copying from things that we watch. We are inspired by things that we watch, but
bring our unique perspectives to it. It's not the same exact relationships. The formats may be similar in like how we started it and how we envisioned it and how we did that, but that's not what 7-Eleven was. 7-Eleven started, and then I was like, then we did the Movember
episode right after the taste test too. We tasted 7-Eleven stuff,
and that was one where we go, I don't think the 7-Eleven format works for this concept. Mm-hmm. How can we change it? Exactly. And then I'm like, here's kind of something that Jake and Amir has done. Here's kind of a style and a format. What if we put those characters in that format and combine the two?
Exactly. Yeah. So
we're just talking through how we didn't copyright them. Okay, so we're just convincing ourselves we didn't steal a.
We're
concept.
saving our ass. We're respectable people in this business. No, I do think that. I don't think it has to have much of a point all the time.
Right.
If we're inspired by an idea. A show that I refer to a lot, like Always Sunny in a way, is that show Workaholics. Some of their shows have points. Some of their shows have like this idea.
Community's the same way.
Right. And some of them are just like nonsensical character development stories. Right. So that's the stuff that I love the most.
Right.
Stuff that sometimes has a touching point or a point that makes you think but most of the time it's just people making crazy faces and going through wild sort of storylines.
Like Jumanji.
It's
just silly.
It's fun.
And it's tropey, They're playing on jokes. And that's, I think, like,
it's the whole video game humor concept, right? Where it's like, oh my god, you lost a life. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Or even just, like, The Rock smoldering every time. What's his character's name's, like, something Smolder?
Yes.
And every time he's like...
He does the classic, the eyebrow.
Yeah. And then the girls are like, are you in control of that? Or does it just happen? It just happens. And you're like, this is so dumb. Mm-hmm.
But I love, of course it plays out the trope where it's like the nerdy kid gets to be in The Rock's body, but the jock has to be in Kevin Hart's body.
Right.
And then he's just like this crazy, like, wow! Kevin Hart has to scream at least once or twice in a movie for it to be a movie with Kevin Hart.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing about our stuff so far has been, like, people are kind of judgmental about it up front. They're like,
oh, how are the podcasts?
Yeah, how are the podcasts go on? Or, not just like people from Second City, but people from Writers too, some of my friends. And then they'll be like, wait, I actually just watched your videos and they're really funny.
Yeah.
Not to like toot our own horn.
But
legitimately it goes, wait, I'm cackling right now, or like, you know.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm actually laughing at this.
Yeah, I think that was the first.
It's so backhanded.
Yeah, the first comment we got on that first Insta post.
Yeah, I didn't think this was going to be funny, but I was surprised.
Yeah, and you're like, well, cool.
Thanks. I'm glad that we can subvert your expectations and actually be what we wanted to be.
Because it's cool because our videos are like equal parts improv and written.
I'd say so.
You know, so it's like, oh, we have fun concepts, we have funny ideas, but we can also kind of throw shit in there just off the cuff.
Right.
Which is what you want.
And it's consistent. The consistency, I think, is another thing. That like, even if every video is not gut busting, but it's entertaining. That's what I want to go for too. Where it's like, oh, I actually kind of care about these characters.
Right.
Like, what situations are they going through? Or, wow, Jack's kind of an asshole in this episode. Yeah. Or Trevor holds the power dynamic in this episode. Right. You know, constantly changing things around. Like, I'm not laughing out loud all the time in Always Sunny. There's moments where I'm like, ha 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 ha, that's fun. Right. But, yeah. So, yeah, we basically just therapeutically going through our entire concept of sketch writing here.
This episode is just turned into a long plug for our YouTube channel. So just go check it out already.
But I think it's fun to talk about from time to time. Yeah. I don't think we do it all the time either. This was probably the first time we mentioned
checking in on how we feel about our...
Publicly.
Our career.
Yeah.
We can go back and look at this and be like, wow, we really were dumb.
As I'm working at a McDonald's internship. Which, honestly, LinkedIn keeps sending me. It's like, there's 1 year grad program at McDonald's for you as an internship. I'm like, why do I have interest in doing that? Why do you think that I'd be interested in a McDonald's internship? Do you think that's my ceiling, Indeed? Did you see my resume and then send me this shit? Yeah. I can't believe you.
At one point, I signed up to have Whole Foods tell me when they had job openings.
Because Whole Foods was like, it's a place to kind of,
So I still get emails, but I'm still like, is that what I've been reduced to?
I applied to Whole Foods and they said no.
I went to a $40,000 university and... Yeah, they said no to me too! And I was like, what? How do you get no from...
What qualifications do you need? Do you have to be vegan to work there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, fuck you, Whole
Trader
Foods.
Joe's said no too.
Okay.
And I went there in person.
Okay.
I was like...
Trader Joe's said no?
Yeah.
Did they want sales experience or like, did they want some sort of like... customer service experience?
Well, first of all, I've got that because I worked admissions, okay? I worked admissions in college. I've got customer service experience.
Should be close enough.
I sold a university.
What more do they
Bradley
want?
University, I sold it. But it's one of those jobs that goes, oh, no experience necessary, but then they want experience. And it's like, you know, like a serving job. Oh, you don't need prior serving experience. We can train you on the job. And then they're like, oh, but you didn't have experience.
Really?
Like, what?
Yeah. The concept is ridiculous.
What are you talking about?
I agree. I absolutely agree. Same thing with Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. The fact that they rejected you, did you have to bag something in front of them? Like, put these contents in a bag.
No, they were just like, why do you want to work here? And I was like...
Because I need money.
Can I honestly just say because I need money? Because they're like, why Trader Joe's? And I was like, dude, because I just moved here and I'm applying to literally everything.
I'm sure they love that answer. You should have been like... I'm really passionate about the orange chicken.
That's what I was like, I've been in here before, and I like the vibe, I think. I was like, that's not literally what I said, but I was like, what do I say? I'm passionate about your specific grocery chain.
Yeah.
I get that's what you're supposed to say, but...
My girlfriend and every other white girl love to buy the cheese selection here.
Yeah.
We love a charcuterie board from Trader Joe's, and I'm passionate about your cheese. So I'm curious if I can get a job here.
Yeah.
As your bag boy.
Yeah, I'll do cheese samples.
I will. I'll pass out brie cheese and goat cheese with blueberries on the outside, which is an available product. That's so stupid. I got rejected from Whole Foods after I graduated college and was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Are you kidding me? I can't get a Whole Foods gig? It's a kick in the nuts.
Getting a minimum wage job is so messed up in this country.
It is.
It's so hard. And there's no reason why there's so
difficult.
many... Here's something political. There's no wonder there's so many homeless people when you can't get a minimum wage job, which doesn't even give you a living wage in the first place.
Not at all. And I was listening to a podcast actually before we got here, and the idea of minimum wage, they were saying was totally ridiculous. Because it's like, we would pay you less if we could. But we're going to pay you what the legal amount is, which is $12 or $13 an hour here. They make it so hard to get the job, though. They
Yeah.
do make it difficult. You have to have all these qualifications to be able to fucking stock shelves with quinoa. Come
Yeah.
on, Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Come on. What am I... Like, do I need training for that?
Right.
I don't think so. I really don't. Do I need to know where... I need to know where every grocery is. Where's the apples? Aisle 1.
You can train just about anyone to do that, though.
Right. I could train
a monkey to do it.
I was about to say I could train a greased monkey to do that
Yeah.
job.
Jesus. Like,
Whole Foods, just know you don't have our support. You are not respectable.
you're canceled, Whole Foods.
I'm against
because we get to say who's canceled now.
So what do you say we find an article here?
What if we just talk about BuzzFeed and how stupid BuzzFeed is?
Sure. I think we're on that trend right now. We're feeling pretty negative since we both got rejected from groceries. Yeah. But we get hired to do work in a theater where we communicate with people at a much more difficult level, right. I would say. So I find that to be pretty funny myself.
Like, here's my thing with BuzzFeed. I think it can be fun and enjoyable, but it can also be very problematic because, like, for instance, I'm looking at a quiz that says, find out once and for all if you're beautiful or not.
Let's do the quiz. Can you read these aloud? I think that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I never, ever have been on... never ever in my life have I been on BuzzFeed, and I already hate the layout.
Beauty is as beauty does. That's the description. Choose an outfit. So I've got... so, here's my options for an outfit. Already kind of sexist. Not towards me, towards women, because it's only outfits for women. Or, I guess, stereotypical outfits for women.
Spaghetti straps.
Yeah, and it's like obviously geared towards making women feel whether they're attractive or not, which is messed up.
Depending on what they wear, is that what you're saying?
Well, we'll find out. Choose an outfit. I have an option of like a knee-length olive skirt with lines.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next
and
one.
like kind of a white top.
Okay, now we're talking. I see
sandals.
The accents.
Sandals. Yeah. Then the next one's kind of a white pea coat with a scarf and sunglasses.
That's more of our brand.
Now we've got very white girl, like white. Yeah, you want to come over here, Jack?
I'm just gonna view from up top.
So here's the first option.
That's nice.
Then we got like a white sweater, kind of like Chris Evans in Knives Out, cardigan, like gray cardigan, blue jeans, pair of brown.
I'm pretty sure
that's
Chris
boots.
Evans' outfit.
Yeah, and a mug. Person likes coffee, so and then just like red t-shirt, probably for a school or something, with a white jacket or a black jacket.
What do you think our brand is? Pick that. I honestly think we should go Knives Out sweater.
Yeah.
Knives Out sweater with a coffee mug, because that's what we have.
We're very basic. We have. What color is your hair?
Brown.
Okay. Again, all pictures of women. So.
Sexist.
Red, black, blonde, brunette. Brunette?
What? Yeah, we're brunette. I mean, red and black were the
Pick
first
some
two
flowers,
options.
okay?
Sunflowers.
So if you didn't think this quiz was sexist enough, it's picking a beauty based off of flowers.
Here are your outfits. What is your hairstyle?
There's white flowers or like a cream, a sakura tree in bloom, a white rose, or a yellow daffodil, kind of.
Sunflower?
It's not a sun. I know what a sunflower is.
Okay, we have to go with yellow. I think we're vibrant people. Okay. We need the daffodil.
Where would you rather live for the rest of your life? Switzerland, like mountains. Tokyo, it's a city. Australia.
This is the most white girl shit.
Or Ireland.
Let's go to Ireland. I want to get punched in the face at a pub. Let's
go to Ireland.
Ireland.
Pick a happy place. Again, these are the whitest pictures in the world.
Pick a happy
place. Go
place.
find this quiz. Do people think you are super beautiful?
That is so fucked.
All
right.
Forest with a waterfall. Where is this?
That's where I want to get engaged.
3 brown wooden boats on blue lake water taken at daytime. And it's got like cliffy mountain ranges.
Moana.
Another kind of forest with a cliff. Looks like a park. And then a beach with a lot of rocks.
Let's do the beach with a lot of rocks.
Okay.
Because we're starting to get rough and grizzled. You know what I mean? We're hitting Ireland with a beach with a lot of rocks.
These questions. Which animal is your favorite? A silly bear.
I hate this
A loyal dog. A fluffy cat. Or a protective hawk.
Why wouldn't you pick protective bear? I would be a silly hawk.
I think we're silly bears.
We're silly bears.
We're silly bears.
We're silly.
Lastly, choose an accessory. Okay, it's a necklace, a purse, sunglasses, or a ring.
Okay, sunglasses.
Yeah. Truly beautiful.
I knew it.
Good work.
We're gorgeous.
Hey guys, you've been watching Jack and Trevor, and we're truly beautiful.
According to BuzzFeed, we're hot specimens.
Just like a December snowflake. That's me. I have the December birthday.
Excellent.
You're one of a kind. Not only do you shine on the outside, but you're even beautiful on the inside. What a precious gift to the world.
Almost doubtful, though. They're like, you're even beautiful on the inside.
Yeah, don't worry about the outside. You're beautiful. Don't let anyone ever tell you any different, especially yourself. I want to know what the other options.
I bet you pick anything and it's like, you're truly beautiful. That's BuzzFeed's bullshit. You know what I mean? If you're like, if you chose like,
I guess if that's the end of it, that's okay. But it's still kind of messed up, you know?
I agreed. And it's not... Well, I think BuzzFeed as an entirety is not news, so I'll say that right now.
It does have a news section.
Okay.
Okay, this is actual news, so that's interesting. But most of it isn't. Sex worker safety, Tekashi 6ix9ine, Bronx kidnapping, 2024 moon landing.
Okay.
And then there's something like Guy Pearce and Joe Alwyn weighed in on Kumail Nanjiani's transformation. Did you see that, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
Jacked, but he also, I love the Instagram posts because, again, he's one of those people like Rob McElhenney that have like highlighted the fact that studios have paid for them to have these ridiculous transformations and that it takes not only a nutritionist, but constant work and people literally paying to make sure that you look good.
Cool.
That's not one of those like things you could just do at the gym in 8 months.
Here's what I'm thinking, okay? So we get really big, and then we make Jack and Trevor movies like Harold and Kumar.
But we have to be ripped.
But they're so tropey, because I just was watching the Ocean series last night. So, like, we do a heist, Jack and Trevor do a heist movie, and, like, Jack and Trevor do a superhero movie, and, like, a Western. So, hey, subscribe to our YouTube.
Please, I want to make a Western movie.
Yeah, so we can make Western movies one time.
I'm ripped. Work on your cowboy voice. What's your cowboy voice right now?
Well, I'd even...
Is that it?
No. Well, so I'd be so lame that I'd walk into the saloon and then I'd go the... And then... Ding! And then... That's me spitting. That's me spitting.
Your little fart.
All right. Put your hands up.
Well, I'm not gonna be proud with
You're so red. Your voice doesn't match how young you are.
No. I've been working here for more than 37 years.
Mine's gonna be really high. Well, listen here, all right.
I'm not scared of shit.
I got these gold teeth because I found them in the gold mines back in 1849. 1949. That's
So I really think that we'd make a good Western film.
Yeah. That'd be so fun though.
But imagine, I just want us to be ripped for no reason. Like we just have cutoffs on the whole time, and we're like, so let me tell you what we're gonna do about this. We're gonna have an arm wrestling match.
We'd have to have a scene where we eat baked beans.
That's a must. Because we're also being hired by the baked bean company.
Have you seen that movie? What's it called?
My favorite band is Leonard Skinner.
Oh, the Sisters Brothers.
The Sisters Brothers?
Yeah.
No, I saw Jack and Jill, though.
That's the same thing.
That's the same exact movie. Right?
It's Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly and Jake Gyllenhaal and Riz Ahmed.
Okay, that's a movie that I should see.
Yeah. It's by a French director. It's fun. It's good.
Is it French?
No, never mind.
Beautiful French director.
Yeah, so BuzzFeed can go
screw off.
Go screw up.
But I do think that we should get paid by studios.
Yeah.
YouTube studios should get us jacked. Because I'm already working on it now, but I'm eating like chicken parmesan 3 times a week. So I don't think I'm going to get like Kumail on that diet at least.
We'll do it sometime.
Sometime in our future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have that action scene that I was telling you about. So maybe we got to Jack and Trevor do an action movie as well. So, hey, stay tuned. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, in a couple of years or something.
Yeah, something like that. Once we got... More money.
Down the road.
Anyway, that's just an example of one bad quiz on BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed, generally, I think a lot of people go there for news.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you see their articles on Facebook and on Twitter and all over the place. And I think people don't necessarily take them at face value. It's a lot of clickbait, just like YouTube. And, you know, it's great to get your news from Twitter. I think it's helped a lot of people. This is me trying to make it serious at the end. It's helped a lot of younger people stay informed, but it's also very dangerous. You know, you look at what happened with the last election and Facebook and false articles and false headlines and false news, fake news being out there. Not Trump's version of fake news, but
you know, sometimes you don't know who to trust.
Right.
Sometimes you don't know if this article's real. If they're like, oh, you know, Hillary's leading in the polls. She wasn't.
And I'm sure as a news organization, they're very left-leaning.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're incredibly liberal.
But they need to be. I think they need to be honest. Because
I think that's the most...
honesty would drive more people to the polls.
Yeah.
And like if they're like, oh my God, Joe Biden's losing to Donald Trump by 15 points.
Right.
Versus, you know, they're pretty neck and neck. It's close. We're gonna make you feel good about this one, and it's not close. I don't think it is.
Well, we've got to do one more of these, so we could go on. But if you've reached this point, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for checking us out. Whether you've been watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple, we appreciate you. Share with your friends. Check us out on our socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check out our Patreon. Check out our YouTube.
Sure thing.
And we'll see you after the new year, right?
Oh, yeah.
This one's after Christmas.
I think so.
Next one's
rolling
after New
in
Year's.
the new year.
Yeah. So we'll see you in 2020. At least I've been Trevor.
And I've been Jack.
And this
is That's Not News.
Has been Not News.
That was probably an hour as well, right?
Hour 6, yeah.